I've been sitting at this same counter on this same stool for 35 years. Name's Arthur. I've seen just about everything you can see from the counter at the Crossroads Cafe. I was here when Rosie's husband Thomas was still alive, and I was here the day we buried him. I've seen floods and droughts, I've seen fistfights and marriage proposals, but I ain't ever seen anything like the night the storm brought them in. Rosie, Rosalind Carter. She's 74 years old, 4'11", and tougher than a $2 steak. This diner, this little cinder block building at a dusty Alabama crossroads. It's not just her job, it's her one mission. See, Rosie, she has this thing she does. With her biscuits, she serves this little dollop of homemade blackberry jam, and every single portion, every single one, comes with a little piece of wax paper on top with a Bible verse, handwritten. Feed the hungry. The Lord will provide. Little scraps of faith, served up with coffee. I always thought it was nice, quaint, a little naive. But that night, the sky just opened up. I mean, a real gully washer. The kind of storm where the rain ain't just falling, it's angry. The radio was crackling with tornado warnings. Most folks had scattered home. It was just me, Rosie, and young Tammy, the dishwasher. And then, we heard it. It wasn't thunder. It was deeper, a rumble. From the highway, it got louder and louder, until it just shook the windows, and then 5 of them, 5 massive motorcycles, pulled right up to the door. The road regents now. You gotta understand, the regents, they ain't your friendly weekend riders. They're them, the 1%ers. Leather chains, scars you don't get by falling off a bicycle. The diner just went silent. Tammy dropped a glass. I'll admit, I put my hand on my wallet. The bell on the door chimed, and they filed in. They were huge, dripping water, smelling like rain and engine grease and just trouble. The leader, he had this gray beard and eyes that looked like they'd seen the inside of a furnace. The youngest one, he just stared at the floor, haunted. And Rosie, she didn't flinch, she just beamed. Well, praise the Lord, she said, grabbing 5 mugs. He sent me some customers in a rainstorm. Y'all look half drowned. Sit down. Coffee's hot. They just stared at her. I don't think they'd been spoken to like that. Ever. They took the back booth, silent, dripping. Rosie she went to the kitchen. And the smell, meatloaf, mashed potatoes, green beans, the good stuff. She comes out, her arms loaded with 5 plates. Piled high, she sets them down. Now you eat, she says. All of it. No sense letting a good storm go to waste. The leader, he clears his throat. This gravelly, deep voice. Ma'am, we're good for it. Rosie just patted his shoulder. Oh, hush, baby. The Lord provides. And tonight, it looks like he's providing for you. This one's on the house. She just walked away. I waited till they were deep in their food. I walked over to the register. Rosie, I whispered, have you lost your mind? Those are regents. They ain't church folk. Rosie just looked at me with that look she gets. Hunger is hunger, Arthur, she said. And the Lord didn't ask me to check their references. They ate. They ate like men who hadn't had a real meal in a month. And then, just as quiet as they came, they stood up. The leader, he looked at Rosie. He didn't say thank you. He just nodded. Once, and they left. The roar of their engines faded into the thunder. Well, I said. That happened. Rosie just smiled, humming. Cleaning up the table. That's when she saw it. On the table, it wasn't money. It was a rusted dog tag. On a broken chain, she picked it up. Turned it over. I saw it. Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. She just closed her hand around it and put it in her apron pocket. The next morning was the paint. I came in, 6 a.m. like always. Rosie was just standing on the gravel, staring. Someone, in the night, had spray painted the entire side of her diner in glowing red letters. Regents keep this place. Oh Lord, I said. The town lost its mind. By 8 a.m., Deputy Stokes was there. By 9 a.m., news vans from Montgomery, gang-related activity. Marking territory. Elderly woman threatened by biker gang. Mabel Henderson from the flower shop. She was furious. I told you, Rosie. You invite the darkness in. You get shadows. Rosie, she got a bucket of turpentine, and she started. For For 6 weeks, this trailer was the Crossroads Cafe, some church. Loaned it to her. A FEMA trailer, and I'll be damned if she didn't. Keep cooking. 74 years old, serving meatloaf out of a camp stove. The smell of smoke, it just hung in the air. The whole town, it was broken. Half the town, they thought Gabe was a monster. The other half just pitied Rosie, me. I just sat right here, drinking my coffee. I didn't know what to believe. Rosie, she never wavered. He didn't do it, Arthur, she'd say, every single day. But Rosie, he ran, she'd say, because we pointed our fingers. We failed him, just like everyone else. And then Deputy Stokes, his cruiser, pulled up 6 weeks to the day. He walked up to this trailer, slow. He took his hat off. Rosie, he says, I owe you an apology, and I owe him one. We caught him. The real arsonist, it wasn't Gabe, it was a drifter, some meth head. Passing through, he'd seen the news story about the donations. The viral Angels graffiti. He hacked her donation account, stole everything, and he burned the diner to cover his tracks. He confessed, said he knew everyone would blame the biker. Rosie she just sat down. She put her head in her hands, and she just wept. The next day, she put a letter in the paper, a full-page ad. It just said, "To the town that lost its faith, and to the boy we wronged, Gabe Matthews, come home, 300 miles away, in a roach-filled motel room." Gabe reads that letter. He just starts his bike. He starts riding. He's coming home. He's riding through that storm, the same kind of storm, and up ahead, he sees it. Flames, a car flipped in a ditch. He hears screaming. He pulls over, a family, mom, dad, a kid. He pulls the mom out. He pulls the dad out. The car, the flames start everywhere. The kid was stuck. The door is jammed. Gabe, Reaper, he grabs that door frame, and he pulls. He bends the steel. He pulls the kid out just as the gas tank explodes. He shields the kid with his own body. When I found him at the hospital, Rosie, I drove her. He was burned bad. The only thing that survived was that Isaiah 43 to it. It was melted to his chest. He woke up 3 days later, and Rosie was right there. She was holding his hand. I knew you'd come home, baby, she whispered. And that is when we heard it, that rumble. The other 4, the regents, they'd heard. They came back. They filled that hospital hallway. They just stood there, and the leader, the one with the gray beard, he just looked at Rosie. "Ma'am," he said, that gravelly voice, you're gonna need a new diner. They stayed for 2 months. They rebuilt it with their own hands. Bikers, hammering, roofing, wiring, and the town. We started helping Mabel. She brought 'em lemonade. Me, I learned how to drywall. The grand reopening. It's beautiful. It's twice as big. The regents, they were wearing aprons, cooking barbecue. Gabe, his burns were healing. He runs the kitchen now. Rosie, she just sits at the counters and pours the jam above my stool, right where the cash register used to be. They framed it, that melted dog tag, and underneath it, Isaiah 43:2. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. I still sit here every day, but I'm different. We're different. So you tell me, Who's the real outlaw? The one wearing leather, or the one who's so quick to judge? You let me know what you think.